I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the True North Racing Podcast, presented by Driving With Hailey. I'm your host, John Morrison. This week on the program, guys, we are being joined by Rookie of the Year competitor with the Grindstone Landscaping Canadian Vintage Modifieds. We will have Maddux Pepin join us in just a little bit. He is an up-and-coming racer within the series, and we're going to find out more about him. We've already had his dad, Jay, on in the past. We've had his sister on last year, and now we get to sit down with the newest driver from the Pepin family. We're going to talk about how he got started in racing. We're also going to talk about his hockey career and what made him choose to go into stock car racing with the family. We're doing a quick short turnaround week essentially, because Maddux can't record on a Sunday. We're recording on a Tuesday, so we're not even gonna get this week's races. We're not even gonna talk about, because this upcoming weekend, like, we're doing this on a Tuesday. When you guys listen to this, it's going to be after. Maddux is going to be racing with the Grindstone Landscaping Canadian Vintage Modifieds on Saturday as part of a nice addition. It's going to be a nice race night. The APC United Late Model Series is going to be there. The Dayco Super Stocks are also going to be in town. And then we'll have the CVMs be a helper filler series, I guess you want to call it. This is gonna be the first time since 2021 that the CVMs have been on GeForce, or if you're watching now that we can't watch it on GeForce, unfortunately, you have Racing America and you're able to watch it. I've been hearing some good things from the club's vice president, Jay, over the last little bit here. Things are starting to look good for the club. I've heard a good car count was hopefully going to be happening. But yeah, I'm hoping it was a good car count. Well, I'll be keeping an eye on Race Monitor on Saturday night to see how it does. Because we only record, it's so weird. I'm recording nearly a week out, so I haven't done this since like 2020 when I had like five. What is it? I think I had like throughout the winter. I was recording every week, and at one point I was like 5 weeks ahead of schedule. I could take a month and a bit off and still have episodes still coming out. But yeah, Maddux is such a cool kid. He's been helping his dad for the last couple seasons with his CVMs, and this year he got his feet wet in the club, and he's driving the number 51 Sherwin-Williams car. He is also a Joe Media driver. He is going to be featured in a race day vlog, a day at the races race day vlog. I got to figure out a date for it, actually, because I have to I got to rearrange some things. I'm hoping to update my schedule here soon of what you guys can expect from us, from Joe Media and Promotions, where we're going to be, what we're up to. I can't talk about a couple things, but we got some great things in the works for the rest of this season and probably into next year. And we're not even going to slow down very much, even though we're going to give the podcast the rest in September, it's still gonna be full tilt like a Peterbilt, um, behind the scenes getting stuff right now. I'm working on a a template, I guess you want to say, about artwork so that we can go live every now and then. It's not going to be a permanent thing. It's not going to be just like a weekly thing. Um, I talked about it on last week's show that it would have been just nice to be able to get on and have a chat open, have people come on and talk about the good things that happen in racing. Because there was, when we were at Sobel, there was a lot of good things, and you know, I felt like that's why we didn't have a guest last week, is that we could have that kind of conversation. Um, yeah, it's one of those things, and even at Sunset, man, there's a couple good races, and I did with how we usually lay out the podcast. It's not one of those things that I really like to do. Um, So yeah, it'd just be nice to go live every now and then. I'm probably gonna start testing it once I get a couple things hiccups done. We might test it out in a little bit here just to see, because I just want to see if it'll work. If we can make it work, I would love to jump on. Get you guys involved in a live feed for a change instead of just doing this and then having you guys reach out to us after the show. Um, it'd be just nice to hear. Make sure you guys are check out all the latest content. Not only did we drop a brand new episode 141 of the True North Racing podcast last week, we also dropped a brand new episode of A Day at the Races when we were traveled to Sunset Speedway and hung out with Roy Wilkie. So make sure you guys are tuning into those. Check them out, share them, like, subscribe to Joe Media on all our social medias. Check out joemedia.ca. There's there's always something new that's coming up, and we want you guys to stay in the know. Uh, I talked about it last week, but it was late in the show. We are having Jomo Media t-shirts this year. We've already got several orders placed already. Like, people have already ordered. This Friday, July 19th, is the cutoff date. We're giving it a few more days here. If you would like a Jomo Media t-shirt or sweater, head over to Jomo Media on Facebook. We have a Google form that's there. Click it, go pre-order. And then yeah, it's nice and easy. I got an option for t-shirt, for a sweater. Hell, you can do both. You can also go over to and you can pick if you want delivery, if you need pickup. We're here for you. We're here to help get that product to you. I'm gonna step aside here for a second because we're gonna get ready to bring Maddux in. There's not really much else I need to talk about or bring up to you guys, but I gotta thank everyone who tunes into us each week. You guys are truly the true heroes of the show. I'm excited to bring these guests on, and this month we got some great guests lined up. Stay tuned to our social medias for the next month and a bit here to see who is going to be our guests leading up into the tail end of the season here. But that's going to do it for me right now. I think it's time to bring in the driver of the number 51, Sherwin-Williams. I think it's a Ford. I feel like I'm messing up now. We'll have to double check with him. But yeah, let's get ready to bring in Maddux Pepin. Before we jump into this week's episode with Maddux Pepin, we are going to have our Driving with Hailey vehicle spotlight this week, guys. It is a low mileage. I'm talking low mileage. It is a 2023 GM Sierra 1500 with only 21,926 kilometers. It is a gasoline 4-wheel drive blue. It is such a beautiful blue, guys. It seats 6. Seat 6, man, you don't get that much anymore. It has a 5.3 liter V8 4-door. It also has a tow hitch, GPS navigation, heated steering wheel, power driver seat, keyless ignition, heated seats, and a rear view camera. All of those you guys need nowadays. It gives you everything you'll need. Just absolutely look at this beautiful piece. Like I said, seat 6, tires look great on it. Beautiful, nice and clean. Hell, if I like that color more than I do, I'd probably go with that kind of truck, but that is just not for me, but it is for one of you guys. So if you guys are interested in getting yourself behind the wheel of one of these vehicles or any vehicle, contact Driving with Hailey today. You guys can find her on Facebook at Driving with Hailey, as well as 289-808-2828. That's right. You guys can call her. You guys can even email her at hhill@rightride.ca. Thank you to Driving with Hailey for being the presenting sponsor of the True North Racing podcast. We appreciate everything she has she does for us, especially by providing one of these vehicles each week for us to take a look at. So once again, Driving with Hailey, you guys can find her on Upper James Road in Hamilton, Ontario. Give her a shout at 289-808-2828 or at hhill@rightride.ca, or find her on Facebook at Driving with Hailey. Now let's get into this week's episode of the True North Racing Podcast with this week's guest, Maddux Pepin. All right, guys, joining us now is the driver of the number 51 Sherwin-Williams car in the Grindstone Landscaping Canadian Vintage Modifieds. We are joined by Maddux Pepin. Maddux, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How's your 2024 season been going for you so far?
So far, it's been really good. It's been exciting. I've been loving being in the car and driving around in those Canadian Vintage Modified. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, you've gone into the series, I guess, the last 2 seasons, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah.
I know I saw you a lot more last year than I did the year prior, I think. But I see so many guys so many times I can't remember when I see y'all. So you've been helping your dad. Your dad got involved with it late 2021. He's been having a blast. Was it 2020? Yeah, 2022 was his rookie year. And then last season, your sister gets behind the wheel of an Ontario Pro Challenge. What made you decide to go, hey, I want to do this too?
Yeah, well, it stems back from years and years ago from when my sister started go-karting. So that's when I really got involved. And then once I was always involved back then with racing. So once they got into cars, I was like, this is more of my style. So once I saw him race for about a year, my sister got into it, and I thought it was real awesome. And then once she completed her year, I was kind of like, okay, I think it's my turn to hop in one of these.
Now, what really made you go, I want to run the CVMs? Like, because as far as my understanding is, you have 0 seat time in a race car besides your first race this year.
Yeah, pretty much. It was my first year. I hopped in Jay's CVM last year just one time on a Tuesday practice, and that was when I was kind of on the fence, but with sponsors, it kind of forced me to one way anyway. But the CVM has made me, I liked going in that thing more than I like just the sound, the feeling, even just being in it going slow, it kind of put me over the edge on, okay, these things are really cool.
The CVMs hold a near and dear, or I hold them very near and dear to my heart. They're one of the first divisions I fell in love with when I started going to the racetrack because of the uniqueness. You watch the late models, you watch the super stocks, you can hardly tell 2 different cars apart. In the CVMs, every single car is a different year, is a different manufacturer. I don't think there is 2 of the same bodies, roof lines anyways, that run in this series. And I know I led Jay into it a year ago when we shot his shop tour vlog. How his is a 1934 Ford Coupe, if I remember correctly, and how it's 90 years for his car. You know, it's 90 years this year that car has been around. The roof line has been around.
Yeah.
90 years ago, that was hauling a family off to the grocery store. And now y'all are racing them on Saturday nights underneath the lights of Flamborough Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
What has, besides obviously the family ties, what has really drew you to the club?
Well, me watching the CVMs for the past 2 years before me hopping into them, I was hooked just pretty much by the sounds. The sounds of these cars are so, like the V8 motors, the crate motors in these things are so loud. They sound so good. You can hear them from miles away. The interior of these cars, the original roofs that they have on these cars from the original bodies back in 1920s, 30s, all that. So original makes them really antique. But yeah, just the look of these cars, the sounds of these cars, it's very different from your average stock car nowadays. So it's something that really drew me in as, oh, this is kind of different. This is something that I could really get interested in. So I looked into it. Obviously, my dad was racing in it, so I had a year, 2 years sitting, watching, look at these things go around the track, and go, yeah, this is what I want to do.
And I haven't made it out to a race yet, and I feel bad I haven't. But coming up soon, we have a 2-for-1 race day vlog happening with you and your dad coming up here in just a little bit. Uh, First of all, are you excited for that? Are
Yeah,
you
I'm
ready?
excited. I'm excited. I've been keeping track of the Jomo Media race recaps and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for the day at the races and all that kind of stuff. I watched Tenley's. I was gonna watch the one you recently posted. I haven't got around to it, but I will. But those vlogs are always nice. I love seeing you at the track all the time. So it's nice to get some more exposure, good content for you, and honestly, I can't wait for it.
Now, you're gonna have to stop me if I even think of suggesting of throwing a GoPro on the roll bars. You gotta stop me from because I put it on your sister's car earlier this year. I'm already down a GoPro. I have people offering actually GoPros up for me. Um, but I'm excited to showcase how we have a year 3 driver and a year 1 driver and really compile. I don't even know if I'm going to compile them into one or if I'm going to have to sit down and make them separate. That's going to be something I got to, and I'm going to have to almost overlay them at the same time. So
Yeah.
this might, I guess this might get interesting on how I'm going to do this because I have 2 of that this year. I have you guys, and then I have my last vlog of the year. Again, double trouble, 2 vlogs one day. I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, but your start, obviously, not you've been athletic for most of your life, just not in motorsports. You started off in hockey, correct?
Yeah.
Now, how how has the racing world really changed? Like, has it really changed? Trying to think how do I want to word that right now. I'm gonna go take a step back here. So growing up playing hockey, it's a team sport. You know, if if you miss a pass or you receive a bad pass, you have a bad shot. You know, it ends up coming down to team. The it's all a team. Now, when you're behind the wheel of a stock car, that's just you. If you make a mistake on the track, that's your fault. How's the accountability been like for you to go from a team mentality to a single mentality?
It hasn't actually been too different just from the transition from playing hockey and now coming into racing in the CVMs. It's the mentality's been pretty much the same. I've always been pretty hard on myself when I played hockey, and even now driving one of the CVMs. I've always kept that mental part pretty much the same. If one thing fails, if one of my teammates does something bad, I kind of feel like I have to step in while they're something happens on track, I feel like I need to do it myself, focus in on myself, and work on that. But there are some various things where if something happens out of my control, obviously I can't do anything about it. But just it's pretty similar, just from something. If I mess up in hockey, I'll take accountability for it. If I mess up in the CVMs, take accountability for it. But they're both similar, and they both have their differences in their own very unique way.
And I guess that's one of the good things is you one of the things I've always noticed about you is that you've had a really good head. You have a really good head on your shoulders, and that you're able to see things that not other people aren't able to see. And I could definitely see that you've taken that from the hockey world and applied it to the racing world as well. I don't normally do this early in an interview, but I do want to get to these because I don't want to sleep on them until the end, because I feel like I may ask a question or two and then it's just going to ruin it.
Yeah,
What do you say we get into our tailored to you medium design fan question period?
love it. Let's go for it.
All right, guys. As everyone saw earlier today, we announced on Facebook and Instagram that we had Maddux joining us on the program, and we got a bunch of questions. Take your time answering them. These are lots of great questions, and honestly, these are going to make you think, I think.
Yeah.
So the first one up comes to us from Brandon Feeney. He goes, "What is it like in a race with your dad, and how much family bragging rights are on the line?"
It's a privilege, honestly, to race with my dad. You know, I grew up with him just from the hockey world, with him always being on my shoulder, you know, helping me out, doing all that, telling me what to do, teaching me all this kind of stuff. So going from having him coach me and then watch me in hockey to now hopping into the motorsport world, and him not only coaching me but now watching me and racing with me, so he's able to see what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, all that kind of stuff. But no, it's great racing with that 43 of my dad, J Pepin. So I've loving it, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of bragging rights. There's definitely where we're going at each other and bragging like, "Hey, I got a quicker lap time," or "Hey, you know, I was closer this time." So no, there's a lot of back and forth with that little stuff. But no, I love racing with him.
See, I loved it because remember back at Motorama, when we had you guys on from, I think it was my final show of the weekend. I had 10 shows. You guys were my final show, and I even asked that question there is prior to the season. I'm like, are you trying to see if he outdoes you? Do you want to outdo him? Like, what's it going to be like in that family? And you just answered it right there. So, glad to hear that there's some bragging rights on the line between you and your dad. And you got to think, if you're in contention, you're gonna one up him for the Rookie of the Year title. I mean, I'm not
Good.
throwing. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything, but uh, I know someone doesn't have a Rookie of the Year title, and someone might have one. So we'll have to see how the rest of the season plays out. Actually, the next question comes to us from Jay. How did you approach your actual first race with other competitors on the track, and how have you approached each race since then?
Well, even just prior to the season, hopping into one of the cars was pretty racking. I wasn't going 100% or anywhere near it until maybe the second or third race of the season. So hopping into the first race, it was very nerve wracking. I wouldn't say I was afraid. I was more afraid of the car itself, how it had so much power. But I was just nervous, making sure I wasn't messing myself up or messing anybody else up. So I wanted to make sure I was clean and all that. So I wanted to make sure I was clean, ran my line, got out of everybody's way, and just had a good, clean, calm race. Coming into other races, I've felt like I've gotten less and less nervous, more and more confident hopping into one of these things. And I'm just excited to hop in the car for my sixth, seventh, eighth race than I was my first race. So it's the same excitement, the same anticipation to hop back into them.
Awesome. Our next one comes to us from AJ Passetti. Why the number 51?
Well, 51, it was mainly two reasons. So one was my dad, he loved Kyle Busch in the truck series. So that's what he always drove the 51, and that's kind of what we designed my 51 Sherwin-Williams CVN, and after was his old 51 truck. And the other one was my favorite number that I have had growing up was 12. And then for my grandfather, he was born in 1939, so I grabbed 39 and 12, threw them together, 51. So that was kind of the two reasons of running the 51.
That is unique as all hell. I didn't. Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, we do a lot of that.
Ricky Williger goes, "What is your favorite thing about driving the CVM?"
Finishing behind Ricky. No. No, honestly, the best thing is honestly, I don't know. There's so many good things about these cars. It's just the amount of times you can change one little thing on the car and it affects so many different areas. How you have to worry about pressure, stagger, what the car's doing in the middle, entry, exit, all of these different things, variables, and you can adjust coming into pit road within 5-10 minutes, and you can fix all that. So honestly, the amount of adjustability pretty much on these cars, from you want it this way, you can do this, and this, or there's just so many different ways to adjust and come at these cars that you can come at it one way, come at it two ways. But just honestly, these cars are so awesome with how you can adjust them, drive them. You see a whole bunch of different driving styles, so you can drive whatever you want pretty much. But these cars are awesome, so I love driving them. Just they're quick, they're loud, love the sound of them, and there's just a lot of fun to drive.
Steve Murdoch goes, "What about the vintage mods made you say, yes, that's the car in class I want to run?" And I think we just touched on that for the most part there with with Ricky's question. So
yeah, pretty much same from Ricky's question. Just main thing was watching these cars for 2 years, watching them go around the track, driving, getting loose, all this kind of stuff. The difference in driving styles, but yeah, mainly driving styles. Watching these cars for 2 years, the sound, and pretty much seeing all those fans up in the crowd going up. Some of them holding their ears when we're driving by. So that was it's a pretty good reason.
you know what? I do think the CVMs do make one of the loudest cars ever. Besides like a Can-Am midget, those CVMs get pretty loud. And you know what? It's a good thing. It's as long as they're not crying when their hands are covering their ears. Now, and when an adult covers their ears, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You don't want to scare the little ones. Lisa Barton goes, "Do you have any pre-race things you like to do to help you relax your mind?"
No, not really. I'm pretty calm normally coming into big events or anything like that. I've always kept a calm head, so if anything, I'd probably listen to some music, honestly. Got some old classics that I listen to that me and my dad used to listen to for hockey, so maybe hop into one of those playlists. But other than that, I normally keep a pretty calm and level head hopping into one of these cars, hopping in before a race. So I don't really have any pre-race rituals that I have before that I stick to.
Lisa also adds here, "These cars have been around a long time. Your car was my dad's in 1975. How cool is that? There's lots of history, and I hope you are having fun out there. You're doing great."
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I'm having a lot of fun. But yeah, you mentioned it used to be her dad's car. Yeah, this car's been around for I think 95 years. I think it's a 29 Ford 5-window coupe, so it's been around for a pretty long time. But yeah, going from Lisa's father's car to Ron, who drives it, and now Marshall drove it. He's a past champion, and now giving it to me. This car has had a bunch of history from 50, 60, 70 years racing in this club. So it's an honor to drive one of these cars, especially from the past of who it's coming from. A lot of good people that I know close with that have driven this car. So it's a privilege to drive this car here, and hopefully we can get some really, really good finishes with this car. I know it's seen a lot of victory lane, so I want to keep it that.
Now, there's a question here from, now, to be fair, you're right. That car has been in victory lane more times than I can count on my hands in a single season. I think once you get the hang of these things, you're gonna be you'll like, once you get faster and get more consistent, be up there and battle the front. It's gonna be great watching you battle against Ricky and TJ, and hell, make your dad see your bumper for a change.
Yeah. I gave him a little tap in one of the races just to let him know I might be there soon, but I haven't caught him yet. So
Tenley Pepin goes, how does it feel to be the only rookie in the family now? Are you looking around faster than Dad and I?
being the only rookie means that I have I'm the only one in contention to win Rookie of the Year this year, so that feels kind of nice. But I'm hoping to catch that 43 car soon. I'm hoping to catch my dad soon in the timing charts. So I'm still a bit off him. I don't think I'll catch him soon. Maybe by the end of the year I'll start making him sweat a bit. But yeah, I'm hoping to catch him. Honestly, if we can get Tenley into a CVM, maybe we can start figuring out who's better there. But
wait,
if she
wait,
puts the cars out.
wait till we get to one of our last questions here. The next one up comes to us from Greg Barton. He goes, are there any tactics that you use to prepare for a race or the season that you have carried over from your hockey career, mental or physical?
Mental. No. I keep a level head with everything. I do have my pre-race kind of that I do. For some reason, I always got to put my right shoe on first. I don't know what it is. That's just something I've done from hockey, putting on my skate, and now racing, put on my right. Same with my gloves, always got to do the right. But that's kind of a tradition that I've always done. But physically, it's not too different. Obviously, in hockey, you use more your legs. Motorsports, you're pretty much wrestling the car with your arms the whole time. So physically, it hasn't been too much of a challenge. I've been pretty good with it, so it hasn't been too tiring. But no, I haven't really brought too much over. I've kind of just kept the same mentality and physical awareness coming into racing as I did in hockey.
The next question comes to us from Shannon McGlynn Robinson. What is your highest finish position in the first 5 races to date, and what is your next personal track goal?
I think my last 5 or so races, I haven't finished worse than 8th this year, so I'm pretty good, confident about that. But my best positioning this year, I think I've finished 6th about 4 times, so I'm hoping to crack the top 5, maybe. But yeah, I think I finished 8th 4, 5, 6 times, 7th a couple times, and the rest have been 6th. So if I can get that extra 10th or 2, I might be able to stay up there and contend with a 5th spot. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's my next goal.
And another question from Shannon goes, what is the most helpful racing advice you've received from your dad and fellow CVM racer Jay?
My dad, he obviously gives me a bunch of advice, so I give him a lot of credit for, even before I hopped into a CVM, telling me about all these lines, changes to the car. So yeah, he's given me tons of advice over the years, especially in hockey and now with the CVM club. But the biggest thing would be go slow to go fast. So the speed will come as long as you get your lines, the mechanical part down. The speed will come after. So that's one of the things he taught me, and that's something that I've taken and used from the start of this year. So is that was probably the best advice he's given me.
And next one is I'll say that one for last one. The next one is from Rob Twitchett. He goes, "Who is the best driver in your family? You or your sister? Since obviously it's not your dad." And just for context, he did put haha and LOL in the chat in the message that he sent me. Just as a heads up.
Yeah, I know Jay's gonna be watching this, so I'm glad you. That's no, my dad's definitely the best out of the three of us. But if you wanted to compare with me and my sister, I've definitely had an easier start than she had, but just from my dad being in the CVMs, I had a little bit of extra leeway, so I had a bit of a head start on her. But I think we're slowly starting to even out. I think she's still got me by a bit. I know she's more consistent with her lap times than I am, so that's one thing I got to get up there. But for now, I'll give it to the 54 car at 10 Pepin.
And our final question is from AJ Pussetti. He goes, 1-on-1, 3 laps. Who wins, you or Tenley?
I think he just wants to figure out which car he wants to spot full time now. But no, but it depends who's starting where. If we're starting side by side, I think we both have a pretty good chance. I know we use the bumper a lot more than they do, but
fiberglass is expensive, man.
Fiberglass is expensive, so I definitely wouldn't want to hit her. Maybe hit her to win, but I know I have my dad in my ear after. But yeah, 3 laps. Honestly, I'd give her a run for her money. I'd say I think it'd be close. I don't know who'd get it, but I think we'd definitely finish within a car length or two of one another. So just because I gave her credit before, I'm gonna say I'm gonna win.
And that's how we keep the family rivalry going. That is this week's Tailored to You Media Design Fan Question Period. Of course, we got to thank everyone for submitting those awesome questions this week. If you guys are looking to, next week, make sure you guys tune in on Sundays at about noon to see who our next week's guest will be, and make sure you guys drop those questions there. But of course, we got to thank Maddux for taking the time and answering those fan questions for us.
Yeah, no problem.
Honestly, that is one of my favorite segments because I never know what to expect from anyone. And these questions were like on par for what I expected, especially from AJ and Rob. I 100% expected questions like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, AJ's a good character. We love having around our pits. So
AJ is one of the true guys. He's always been there. And he's such a good supportive dude, but tells you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
But going back into our conversation now, with I want to say about half your season done. I think we're getting pretty close next week or so, another couple weeks or so. How are you feeling going into the second half of the season, and what do you expect from you and your team moving forward?
I feel really good. Coming into the almost second part of the season, I know I've made tons of progress just within these last 2 to 4 weeks within the car, but I've been progressing really quick. I've been progressing, like really quick, very fast, and very cleanly. So that's something I'm excited for. But coming into the second part, moving forward as a team with both me and my dad, I think the goal is to finish obviously higher in the races, keeping the cars clean still, seeing if he'll get a win. I know that's coming soon, but yeah, I'm excited for the second half. I know we're gonna keep moving forward, keep pushing to get better, so it'll be exciting to watch us.
I'm always excited watching you and your team because not like both you and your dad. Like I've watched Jade now for the last almost 3 seasons, and each time out he's getting better and better. And I've been watching. I go to Race Monitor Don't think I don't. That's where I get my results from, man. I go see those lap times, and I can already see you guys are getting better and better each time out. And your dad's been out there leading laps. Now, because I'm not there every week like I used to, are you starting scratch? Or are you taking your position when um on when you head to the track on that night?
So every race so far, I've scratched. Maybe later into the season, three quarters, last part of the race, regular season, I'll probably take my spot. But for now and the foreseeable future, I'll be scratching at the back.
With I'm hearing some numbers for this weekend's race, and I kind of want to let's. This is gonna sound so weird for anyone who didn't know how this week was gonna go. We are recording on Tuesday, July 9th. Maddux is racing this Saturday, July 13th. And when you guys hear this, it is July 16th. So what we're going to preview will already have happened by Tuesday. So going into this weekend, this will be your first race on live television on Racing America through GeForce. You are a part of the United Racing Series APC late models and the Dayco Superstocks race card on Saturday. How do you feel going into this weekend? Are you knowing that that people are gonna be able to tune in from down in the States and watch you guys run? How do you feel about that going forward?
Honestly, I'm really excited. I've been on a lot of television just from hockey, so I know the pressure. I know how it feels being on television, going back and watching yourself. So coming into with the CVMs, I'm excited to be on television, get this club really out there, get some more cars out. I know we've been loving it within the club. We've had a great atmosphere, and everybody's been loving it. So I'm hoping we can get some more exposure and honestly have a really great show for the guys on Saturday.
I find that when this club gets put in the spotlight, it really steps up. Because I remember in 2020, the first race in the COVID season, we had 23 cars out. I'm hearing in the ballpark of 15 cars are coming this Saturday. First of all, that's great to hear. Okay, Maddux, I'm gonna take 2 seconds here and advocate for the CVMs. Okay, if you are looking for affordable racing that's not overly expensive, easily adjustable, and you're around a great group of people week in and week out, the Grindstone Landscaping Canadian Vintage Modifieds is the series for you. Let me tell you why. The roof lines on these things are ancient. Not as old as me, but actually older than me, but there's a body that's a lot newer than me. So, because it was manufactured in 2020, because I know that because of John Carley. I have been a part. I got involved with the club 4 years ago. I have absolutely had a freaking blast with the club, with everyone who's a part of it. You will not find a better group of people to race with than this club. There are cars for sale. There's so much good that can come from this series. The only thing that's missing, I don't care if anyone gets upset with this, is I would like to see the club tour a little bit. That is it. That is the only thing I want to see is the club tour a little bit, because this is honestly, I need to see you and your dad take your cars up to Sauble on a Friday night and go test. Just for fun. Because I guarantee you, how much did you go up Saturday with Tenley up to Sauble?
I did. Yeah, we all went.
How did you enjoy that track?
Well, let's just say both me and the vice president both enjoyed that racetrack in the end. So it was it's definitely in the ballpark. So we'll
And here's another question: how did Tenley like the track?
I think she loved it, honestly. I think she was like third fastest in one of the races, so I
Yeah,
definitely think she liked seeing how well she does. So, but
it's
yeah,
flat. It's so flat compared to Flamborough.
oh yeah, it's a lot quicker than what we're used to. So it was different. I think that was a really good part. It was different. It was something different. You don't have to run the same thing every single time. It's different. The atmosphere is different. The pit's different. The track is different, and it was a very good experience.
Now you know what you should have done, and this. I'm gonna shoot myself. I don't even care. You know what? This is something that you and your dad should have done at the track. You
What
should
was
have
that?
taken your hero cards and walked the crowd.
Oh really?
Think about no, think about it. How close were you guys to the grandstands? Because were you guys
Oh,
close at all?
we're pretty close. Maybe about 100 feet from the fans from pit road. So they
Yeah,
weren't very far.
you guys should have walked over there, started handing out hero cards.
Yeah.
Because guess what? That just put eyeballs on your series from a track that you guys don't even race at.
Well, I definitely think we did give a few out because I know it was fan appreciation night
Yes, it
last week.
was.
So I
I
think we
forgot
did
about that.
do. So I know there are some people wondering, going, "What kind of cars are those?" And you know, obviously tell them about the CVMs a bit. So there was a few that got them, but
Perfect.
we didn't bring the cars out. So
It's man, that's something you guys could have done too, because you guys have the hauler for that.
yeah,
Ah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Uh, no, it's great to see. And the one thing I've been saying for the last couple of years is that we need to get more younger people, younger drivers into this club if it wants to succeed. And because these things, one, are absolutely beautiful. You're not doing body work every week. The only thing you're replacing is if you damage it enough is your rear and your front and rear bumper. And I think if I remember correctly, I heard a cost of like $160 for it.
yeah, yeah.
Am
It's
I in the
very
ballpark?
yeah. It's pretty minimal. I mean, even then, you'll see some guys running with crooked bumpers anyway, so they last a really long time. So
Like it is such an afford, and they allow coilovers. There's a quick change rear ends. They run a treaded 8-inch American racer. Your crate motor from a super stock, you can drop right into it. It's you guys go through tires probably every 3 to 4, right sides go through every 3 to 4 nights ish. Um, honestly, it is one of the best divisions you can get into. Um, and with touring, sounds like there might be some touring in the works. It needs to happen, in my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. I've been since I've started this show. I have said that the club needs to tour again. Um, because it's when you get to travel, you get to because there's people from other tracks that don't get to see you guys. And when I was taking care of a lot of the social media stuff, I was getting messages from tracks and from people going like, "Why don't you run here?" Now, obviously, like if it's a track messaging me, I pass that along to the current president. But if it's like a fan asking, I'm like, unfortunately, we can't travel right now. But like, if you want to come watch us, come to Flamborough. But there was a lot of people always asking, why aren't we running Delaware? Why aren't we running Sauble? Why aren't we going to Sunset? Um, I never heard anything from Peterborough, but I think Peterborough would be a fun track for you guys to go to. But why? I don't know. I don't understand why you guys can't be a part of like do a historic night
hmm
with like with the hot rods.
yeah,
Like that would be such a cool thing. Is 50 laps for the hot rods, 30 laps for the CVMs. Go have fun. I think it would be a lot of fun, but that's just me. Um, what is your hopes and goals after this season? Um, are you looking to stay within the CVMs? Would you like to move to a different division? what are kind of your plans for racing in the future?
Well, as of right now, it's pretty set in stone that I'll be with the CVMs back in the 51 CVM next year. So I think I'll just be sticking with the CVMs. I may do some one-offs in some other series if I'm feeling like it, but no, I'll be full time back in that 51 in the CVMs.
And that obviously that's good to hear because we like to see cars continue supporting that club. Um, man, it's just let's get it. Let's talk it like 'cause like I said, I don't know much about you, so let's learn more a little bit of let's more learn the wow. English is not my strong suit tonight, everybody. You would think I would be good at talking. No, I am not. This is just I do for this for fun. Um, Maddux, how long did you play hockey for?
Hockey, I think I played for 16 years. I started when I was 3. I didn't play competitive hockey till about 4 years old. So, and I played till I was 19, 20 years of age.
And in that time frame, like where would you play?
Yeah, I live in Kitchener, so I obviously played in Kitchener for a good 10, 12 years of my early career in hockey. But once I started to get better, I started to move up. I ended up going to Cambridge. I went to Pelham, Niagara Falls. Ended up going to Pennsylvania, playing for the Hershey Cubs there. So that was uh, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of travel. It was nice. I enjoyed a bit of it, but unfortunately, motorsports has decided to take over my life, and I haven't looked back.
Which is a good thing. Like it's not a terrible thing. It's just one addiction to another kind of deal.
Yeah.
Um, if you could run any track, any car, any series, where would you want to drive a race car and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, I'd probably want to go on one of the old hot rods, and I would want to go to, and I'd probably want to go to Sauble. Just because of the Sauble, the track, I enjoyed it so much. Probably just I'm coming off a high from it of this week with the Pro Challenge, but I enjoyed that track a lot. And the hot rods, oh my god, those things are so nice. Being a really big fan of just cars in general myself, I really enjoy the old school cars, the old Mustangs, and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoy watching those things come to Flamborough every now and then, and watching them just scream and drive around the track. It's a lot of fun watching those things. So I'd really love to get behind the wheel of one of those things and race at Sabo.
Yeah, that would definitely be like a bucket list item right there. Um, I've been to Sauble a number of times now, and it is like it's one of my favorite tracks because there's such a uniqueness to it, and I have yet to figure out what it is, but it is to sit up in the grandstands and watch a race. It doesn't like it's so weird how you enter down by turn 4 for the grandstands, and then it feels like such a hike down to turn 1. But if you actually go all the way down there, there's not that many people usually that sit down there because they don't want to go that far. But two, it's actually a nice view from down there, and there's not a bad view sitting there either. Whether or not you're in the pits, whether you're up in the grandstands, it doesn't matter. There is not a bad spot to watch a race there. Um, I kind of been tempting to a little bit to like next year book out like the like one of the VIP suites they have and invite some drivers, invite some people up and just go have fun up there because they got a rooftop patio there as well. And I think that would just be a blast to be able to sit up there and just enjoy a race. And the reason I know it would be a good spot to watch a race is because when I was doing social media, I walked up to the rooftop, so I know what the view's like from there. That's the only reason why I know about it. Um, it is such a nice view. It's like I don't know. I love Sunset. Like I was just at Sunset. Like you're right. Like right now I'm on a high because I've visited 3 different tracks in 3 weeks, and I I can speak so highly of Sobel, the way they run Sunset, the way that everything there is perfect. Um, I just want to go back racing so bad, and I'd love to see the CVMs do it. Like I said, I know I keep saying this, but the CVMs need to travel a little bit. Um, what would your ideal schedule look like running in the CVMs? What do you think an ideal schedule would look like for you guys?
Honestly, with how it is now, with us being exclusive to Flamborough, it's I like it just because of we don't have to travel as far. But if I were to um, travel to different places, I'd love to stay at Flamborough for I think we have 12 or 13 races. So if we could stay maybe 6, 7 races at Flamborough, maybe go 2 or 3 Sabo, maybe even try Varney. I know it's a pretty crazy track, but maybe one there, Sunset, and even Peterborough. I'd love to go there at least once or twice, but definitely I'd want to probably alternate between Flamborough, Sunset, and Sabo.
Yeah, that it. Did you guys camp when you guys went to Sobel by chance?
No, we didn't, but we did
Oh
make it.
my God,
We made a weekend of it.
man. So what like what you guys do? Have like an Airbnb or something or?
Pretty much. Obviously, the beach is 5, 10 minutes from the
Yeah.
track, so it's you can just go down there. Downtown is pretty much again 10 minutes away, so you pretty much have everything right there at Sabo. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I usually go stay at the Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park when I go up, and it's like 10 minutes from the track. Like you can't ask for a better location. Um, yeah, next season you're coming back with the CVMs, which it's nice when you get early announcements kind of like this.
Yeah,
Um, so you said earlier that the design on your car was was it a resemblance to a Rowdy Bush design for like one of his trucks?
yeah. One of his trucks, it was a design, pretty much with the stripes and all that kind of stuff. It was a resemblance of his black, red, and white truck, but instead of black, I just put blue on it. So it's a really good resemblance of that truck. I think when he ran it in 2018, 2017. So it was a really good scheme that we have on there.
I honestly thought when I saw it when your dad showed me the number font you guys were using, I was like, "There's a Rowdy Burns here," and then I saw the trick car. I'm like, "Man, there was so much a better idea you guys could have done." Yeah, like, that's just me though. Um, no, I think the design is great. You and your team are doing so much for the CVMs and running 2 different cars, 2 different series, or 3 cars, 2 different series. What kind of toll does that take on your race team each week?
It takes a pretty big toll when we work with the CVMs, just because obviously there's 2 of us. There's more maintenance to do on the CVMs than the Pro Challenge. Pretty much with the Pro Challenge, you load it up, you get to the track, torque starts, put gas in it, set the pressures, and let it go. It's pretty much all you have to do. But with the CVMs, it's a bit more maintenance, especially with the 2 of us. But we get a lot of help from in the pit lanes with a bunch of other people coming to help us out. We've added a couple more people to our to our pit crew, so they've been great. A lot of help this year, but it's a bigger toll just having to get to the track, the stress of having to make sure all the cars are ready beforehand, all this kind of stuff. But once it's ready, cars are out for practice, all that stress kind of dwindles away, and it's just let's go racing, let's have some fun today.
And that's man, I don't know what the hell's I don't know what's going on with me tonight, man. I'm sorry. Uh, no, honest, it's yeah, running a 2 cars in a single series is enough work as it is. Um, we know people who are running 4 cars or more in a series right now, and that takes a toll on you as well. Um, so Nick, yeah, I just, fuck, man, I don't know what it is with me. I'm sorry, Maddox.
No,
Um,
you're good.
with the rest of the season coming up, what is one of the races that you guys are looking forward to on your schedule?
We had this race circled with the APCs coming up. This is one of the races. Definitely the Memorial Night is one that we have circled as well. We Fan Appreciation Night I think is coming up with the CVMs. I think within another 4 weeks or so, or 2 weeks I think. But yeah, those are 2 or 3 races that I know me and my dad have been looking forward to, and a lot of the CVM guys have been looking forward to, just to meet all the fans and get ready to go racing pretty much on live television with the APC guys. I know they're a really big deal, so we're all excited for those couple race nights.
I always look forward to the fan appreciation nights, the kids ride nights, and the corn roast that they host later on in the season. To me, if you want to attract new fans and hopefully attract new drivers, those are the nights you want to be at the track as a driver and as a fan. I can't tell you. I still go back and look at photos every now and then of the time I took my buddy's super stock out onto Flamborough and did kids ride night because he didn't want to. I still go reminisce by looking at those photos, and I was like, man, that was the best, like the most fun I ever had, to engage with the adults, with the children who were riding along, and just talking with them. The one I remember, the one girl, she told me to punch it as hard as I could. When you got a little kid telling you to punch it, you're gonna punch it. I don't know what to tell you. But Meet the Drivers Night, I was supposed to be there on Meet the Drivers Night this year for you guys, because could you imagine me having another grid walk like I did from the first one from
Yeah.
Tenley's vlog? I don't know if I could do it again. And unfortunately, I'm not. I can't. I have to switch out the nights, and I got to sit down and figure out when I'm going to come back and do your guys' race day vlog. And that's one of the things I love to do. Is I think these interviews are fun, but I think what's even more fun is getting a chance to catch you guys in the element. If you want to say, catch you guys in the wild, and see exactly what you guys are doing, because
Yeah.
that's more fun. Just sitting there watching you guys work on your cars, go get ready for racing, because you learn a lot more about a person sitting there and watch how they get ready to go out on the track than you do anywhere else.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, because I also say once you guys put a helmet on, you guys switch personalities. And I feel like if I hold a camera long enough, I can see that switch.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely have our 2 sides when we put on the mask and when we take the mask off. But we're pretty much a whole different person once we put on that helmet and fire that car up.
Yep. I'm excited to get back to the track with you guys and hang out with y'all. I was asked to come out this Saturday. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it. I would have loved to have been there while you guys are on Racing America, and just doing what I do. But I hope you guys have a great weekend ahead of you guys here at Flamborough, and I will be catching you guys. I gotta sit, like I said, I gotta sit down and rework my schedule and see when I'm gonna come out for you guys. But I do want to we're gonna close this up here in just a couple seconds. But one thing I want you to do is I want you to take your time. You have a couple minutes here. Thank everyone and anyone. You can thank your great grandparents. You can thank a pet that your parents had before you were even a thought. You can thank your future children if you're gonna have any. You can thank your best friend when you were 3 in preschool who brought in a toy race car. You and of course make sure you thank your sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just to start off, I obviously have to thank Sherwin-Williams, Shauna. Without them, we wouldn't have this car out on track and as good as it looks. It's the reason, obviously, that car is on track because of Sherwin-Williams. So I want to thank a big thanks to them with Oakville Trailers and Racing Stuff. Ron Easton, he has been a huge help getting this car ready for this year. He has been nonstop working on both mine and that 43 car all winter, even now, still helping us out with those cars. So big thanks to him. What was it good? Jason Howe, mortgage broker. Big thanks to them. I know he's a big help with my dad. He's a longtime friend with him, so big thanks to him. He took a big step up this year, so I can't thank him enough. Pep's Row Painting, obviously my dad Jay Pepin with his new painting company. My dad as well. He is without him, both myself, Tenley, we wouldn't be on track without him. He's been a great help to both of us off and on the track. So can't thank my dad enough with all the work he's done. I know he's done a bit too much work, so we have to thank him for all that. John Bear, GMC in St. Catharines, big help. Big thanks to them hopping on both the cars. Really appreciate all them helping out with all three, with the 51, the 43, and the 54. They've done a great job helping us. Epic Racewear, obviously being on all of our cars, they've been with us since I think the beginning, so I gotta thank them. Elwood Auto Glass, Scott Elwood, go karter with my dad, so he stepped in, he helped us a lot, so he's a good friend of my dad's, racing with him in go karts, so can't thank him enough. Obviously, Jomo Media and Promotions, gotta thank them. Obviously, with the podcast, being on our cars, all the race day vlogs, gotta thank them. They do a lot of work behind the scenes. Can't thank them enough as well.
Oh,
But
stop! You don't have to. You don't have to say us.
what's going on for you, man? Let me go. But no, I wanted to give a shout out to my dad as well. His dog Mimi. I know she's been out for a long time, but wanted to give that dog a shout out. I know, really big part of my dad's life, so I wanted to thank him. DJD Graphics for doing the design. Darren Dryden did a great job with that 51 car, and as well as the 43 on my dad's. Got to thank him a lot. He did a great job with the wrap. Yeah, I want to. I think Randy Marshall as well for letting me buy the car off you. I really appreciate that. Getting the car out and not having it sit in a garage the whole winter. So glad I could take that car off you and get it ready for this year and have it go out on track. And yeah, my family, for keeping me competitive. I know she's one of the reasons why I keep wanting to get faster to beat her. So, so yeah, they've been a great job. But wanted to thank all the sponsors. They've done a great job. They've put in a lot of work behind the scenes to help us get on track, and we've done promotions for them. So can't thank them enough.
All right, man. Well, we're not going to take up too much more of your Tuesday evening here. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the podcast.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you.
And we're back from our conversation with Maddux, and we hope he has a really good second half this season here. And hopefully he had a good run Saturday with as a filler series to the APC series in the Dayco Superstocks. I'm hoping they have a really good car count. Yeah, honestly, guys, if you guys are looking for if there's any racers who are looking to get out of the series that they're in, highly recommend looking at a CVM. Turnkey ones, they can come. They're starting about as cheap as a turnkey mini stock now. You can get out your hands on good competitive cars for not overly, and you're not really going to break the bank on it. It is, like I said, it's one of my favorite series. I hold it near and dear to my heart. I've been around them for the last 4 seasons. I stepped away this year to focus on Joe Media, and it's the guys and gals from the series truly make truly make it a great series to be a part of. And if you're able to, I highly recommend going over to the grandstands, or not even not to the grandstands, but over to the pits after the race. they are some of the nicest drivers you're going to meet after a night of competition. They get along with each other, I'd say, for the most part. Now there's some obviously competitiveness, like you are racing. But it's one of my favorite classes. It's one of my favorite divisions. I can't thank all the whole club enough for everything I got to do the last 4 seasons. They were hands down some of the best people I got to work with. And it does suck not being a part of them this year, but who knows what the future will hold. As I said earlier, guys, if you guys are looking for Joe Media t-shirts, we got them on pre-order right now. Inbox us, DM us, email us, whatever you want to do to get your hands on one of those, one of our t-shirts or sweaters, or head over to our Facebook page where we'll have it pinned. You guys can place an order there. You have until Friday, July 19th by the end of the day to get your pre-order in. After that, we won't be taking any more pre-orders. I'm thinking of doing something for October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll see what comes of it. I think maybe do pink shirt and put maybe a donation or something like that. Or $2 from every sale goes to the Canadian Cancer Society, but we'll see how that goes down the road. I don't really have much else for you guys because I just talked to you guys 2 nights ago. You guys, like I said, Tuesday, you guys just heard me talk not too long ago when I started recording this. So I only had 2 days downtime. Not even downtime really. Because if anyone knows me, I'm pretty busy. But that's going to do it for this week. The True North Racing Podcast presented by Driving With Hailey. Thank you to all our partners for making this show possible. Pabst Pro Painting, Driving With Hailey for being the presenting sponsor, Pabst Pro Painting for bringing us our opening segment, Graphic Design Studio for bringing us our guest segment period, and Tailored to You Media and Design for being bringing us our fan question period. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for checking us out. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, as well as joemedia.ca. Until next time, I'm John Morrison. We'll see y'all later. Bye now.
Saturday night under the lights, hear the engine rooming by. Smell the gas and feel the vibe, going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing, let's go.